Forensic analysis refers to a detailed investigation for detecting and documenting the cause, reasons, culprits, and consequences of a security incident or violation of rules of the organization or state laws. Forensic analysis is often linked with evidence to the court, particularly in criminal matters. It involves the use of a wide range of technologies and investigative methods and procedures. Forensic specialists gather different types of information by working with electronic devices and also working in a conventional way with the information on paper. Our focus today on the Eagle is the place of forensic analysis in the fight against economic and financial crimes. Stay tuned as we bring you this and more in the course of the program. My name is Aisha Muhammad. Thank you for keeping a date with us here on the Eagle.
I am Abdurrashid Bawa. I stand against corruption. I call on every patriotic Nigerian to lend their voices in this crusade. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Together we'll make Nigeria great.
We kick off today's program with a recap of the EFCC chairman's participation at the just concluded 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly ONGA. The EFCC chairman, Abdurrashid Bawa, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the strong political will he has demonstrated in tackling the menace of illicit financial flows, IFS, and other acts of corruption. Bawa gave the commendation in New York while serving as a panelist at a high-level side event jointly organized by the EFCC and the African Union Development Agency New Partnership for Africa's Development, Africa Peer Review Mechanism, AUDA, NEPAD, APRM, where he spoke on the theme, Food Security Response, Combating Illicit Financial Flows and Securing Asset Returns for Sustainable Development. Ojochukutami Eche here fills us in on the report.
The EFCC chairman stated that there are 4 critical factors in dealing with the problem of illicit financial flows, IFFs. They include political will, necessary legal framework, capacity by those saddled with the responsibility of enforcing the required laws, and the fear of God. Of these factors, he said Buhari's political will is second to none. He stated that the various steps taken by the administration have greatly pushed the frontiers of success against IFS. These steps include implementation of the Treasury Single Account TSA policy, the signing of the various executive orders to deal with illicit enrichment, and the empowerment of the Corporate Affairs Commission CAC to have a beneficial ownership register BOR of all companies in Nigeria, among others. The EFCC chairman noted that the signing of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, and the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 are legal instruments aimed at strengthening the existing domestic measures in combating IFFs. He particularly appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for approving $10 million for the EFCC as a takeoff grant for the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCUMO. Bawa also noted that the effects of the president's political will in tackling IFFs have greatly enhanced the performance of the EFCC, such that as at September 23, 2022, the Commission had secured 2,595 convictions, which is an improvement on its conviction figures of 2,220 in 2021, 312 in 2018, and 195 in 2016. He concluded that for a global response to food security, countries should ensure that effective measures are in place to prevent outflow and inflow of IFFs. The EFCC chairman was a member of a 5-man panel which included Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, panel of eminent persons, African Peer Review Mechanism, APRM, Abduli Jane, member, Dr. Fatima Khan of the Princeton University, and the founding director, Center for Global Africa, Delaware State University, Professor Ezra Aharoni. President Muhammadu Buhari gave a keynote statement at the event, while the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, gave an opening address. Chief of Staff to the EFCC's chairman, Hadiza Gamawa Zubeiru, in a closing remark, commended the member states of the AU and stressed that key points highlighted in the thematic areas should be implemented by member states as innovative solutions to the problems of food security and illicit financial flows. Ojo Chukutami Eche for the Eagle.
Members of Mineral Resources and Environmental Management Committee, MIREMCO, have thrown their weight behind the efforts of the Ilorin Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in tackling illegal mining activities and non-payment of royalties to the federal government. The Ilorin Zonal Command of the EFCC had recently moved against illegal mining business in Kwara State, resulting in the arrest of no fewer than 45 suspected illegal miners and seizure of 14 trucks loaded with assorted crude minerals being smuggled out of the state for sale outside the country. Amina Kawa has details on this engagement.
In a solidarity visit to the Ilorin Zonal Command of the EFCC, MIREMCO Chairman Abdurrahman Otan, who led other executive members of his committee, declared support for the intervention of the EFCC in regulating the mining sector, which is described as a bold step. MIREMCO Chairman commended this action as quite laudable, as it has projected Kwara State as a mineral producing state with high socio-economic consequences, which could serve as a signal that Nigerian mining space must be sensitized to achieve the desired economic benefits. Otan, who doubles as the chairman, Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society, MGS, Ilorin chapter, expressed readiness of his committee to collaborate and partner with the EFCC, and also urged all sectors to work with the anti-graft agency in its efforts to rid the country of corruption. He stressed that the illegal mining is the worst thing that can happen to any economy, as it is not only economic sabotage, but also another devastation that causes a lot of socio-economic destruction, insecurity, banditry, and a host of other vices. Responding, the Zonal Commander, Assistant Commander of the EFCC, Michael Nzweki, expressed delight with the visit, stressing that there is still hope for Nigeria. He said the EFCC has seen that there are enormous mineral deposits in Kwara State, and if rightfully put to use, the state can become a small London. Nzeko pointed out that the action of the EFCC to clamp down on suspected illegal miners in the state is not to witch hunt, but to regulate the sector and ensure that the right thing is done in line with the mandate of the Commission. He appealed to the people to join hands with the EFCC in its efforts to rid corruption and make Nigeria a better place. On the entourage of Otana, Henry Bolarinwa, Federal Mines Officer in charge of Kwara State, Towoju GOK, Director of Kwara State Ministry of Environment, Ibrahim Sanususili, Surveyor General, Kwara State Geographic Information Service, among others. Amina Kawa reporting for the Eagle.
Next is Conviction Update. Stay tuned.
The war against economic and financial crimes will continue waxing stronger as the EFCC will not rest on its oars to see that corruption is brought to its barest minimum, if not totally eradicated. There was a total of 59 convictions from all commands of the EFCC and the headquarters for the week of 12th to 16th September 2022. A breakdown of the convictions showed that the headquarters had the highest convictions of 18, followed by Ibadan Command with a total of 15. Makurdi Command secured 6 convictions, while Lagos, Ilorin and Sokoto Commands had 4 convictions each. The Kaduna and Abuja Commands had 3 convictions each. Meanwhile, in the week of 19th to 21st of September 2022, the EFCC secured 63 convictions. In the week, Lagos Command had the highest convictions record of 16, followed by Uyo with 14, then Ibadan with 13. Kaduna had 6, Ilorin 5, Headquarters and Sokoto Commands with 3 each. Abuja, Port Harcourt and Makurdi Commands had 1 conviction each. That's the Conviction Update. It's our hope that we all will stand for integrity always, do the right thing even when no one is watching.
A forensic investigation is the practice of lawfully establishment evidence and facts that are to be presented in the court of law. The term is used for nearly all investigations ranging from cases of financial fraud to murder. When most people think about forensics, they think about crime scene investigation in which physical evidence is gathered. There are other forms of forensic investigation, but let's go to Golden Omura and our guest to tell us more on forensic analysis and its place in the fight against economic and financial crimes. Over to you, Golden.
Thank you, Aisha. Hello and welcome to the interview segment of The Eagle. I am Golden Omura. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in its bid to ensure accuracy in its investigation, established a department called the Forensics and Crimes Laboratory Services Department. This department sees to it that disputed documents, mobile phones, computers, fingerprints, image analysis, video and audio analysis are done for the sake of the EFCC investigations. Today I have the Director of the Forensics and Crimes Laboratory Services Department in the person of ACE Ben Agwai. He's here to discuss the place of forensics analysis in the fight against economic and financial crimes. Our viewers would like to know the place of Forensics and Crimes Laboratory Services Department of the EFCC in the fight against economic and financial crimes.
Thank you, Goldie, for that question. I want to start by putting forensics in perspective. Forensics simply means the application of the time-tested principles of sciences to law. And in order to guarantee the outcomes of accuracy, consistency, reliability, and of course universal acceptability in investigations. And for us at the Forensics and Crime Laboratory Services Department of the EFCC, our key function is to provide support service to the investigative activities of the EFCC, specifically in the areas of crime scene management and, of course, fingerprint identification, forensic document examination, digital forensics, which includes mobile phone forensics, computer forensics, network forensics, cloud forensics, amongst others. And of course, in other areas like forensic audio, video, and image analysis. Of course, you know, the latest frontier that we're trying to expand into right now is forensic chemistry. These are the key areas where we provide support. So our function, as far as investigating Economic and Financial Crimes Commission crimes are concerned, cut across the whole gamut of investigations. Whether you are investigating politically exposed personalities or you are carrying out investigations that have to do with extractive industries or the financial services industry or advanced fee fraud or cyber crimes, we play a pivotal role in those investigations.
Can you throw more light on how the Forensics Department is making critical interpretative scientific opinion in the dissection of economic and financial crimes?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you know, one of the things that forensic brings to the table is accuracy in investigations, is consistency in investigations, it's reliability, it's universal acceptability of the outcomes of investigation. And so we do that by having a very robust quality control and assurance system in place, where we ensure that we comply in everything we do with the best practices. In this instance, the best practice we comply with is the International Organization for Standardization ISO 17025 standard, which is the standard for all of the practitioners in the forensic science field. And so this standard ensures that the laboratory has competence in terms of its manpower, in terms of using the right tools, whether it's software solutions supported by hardware, or in terms of the standard operational procedure. You know, we ensure that everything conforms with what is the best practice. So what you get, the outcome or the output, you know, from the EFCC forensics, our product, are consistent with what is obtainable in the rest of the world.
In about 19 years of the Commission's life, the Forensic Department, no doubt, is adjudged to be among the best in the African continent. How has your journey been?
Well, I would say the journey has been very tough and interesting as well. Because what we have done here in the past almost 2 decades is to blaze the trail in an ecosystem that is not very much traveled, and so the laboratory started soon after the EFCC itself commenced work. The then pioneer chairman, brought in 2 gentlemen, Mr. Muazu Abdullahi and later Mr. Habila Yusuf from the Nigerian police to kickstart the work of forensics in the EFCC. So it started from being a one-man team, and then it grew to a team, and of course from a team to a unit, and sometime in 2017 it became a department with over almost 80 staff working across the various zonal commands of the Commission. And so we started as a document laboratory to where we are now, where we now have about 5 sections, including the support sections like the quality control and, of course, administration.
So how does the Commission collaborate with other agencies like the Nigerian Immigration Services, the National Identity Management Commission, by way of data sharing?
Well, I'm sure, as you're well aware, collaboration is one of the core functions of the EFCC, the core values of the Commission. We take stakeholder engagement very seriously. And I mentioned earlier that at inception, 2 gentlemen were brought in from the Nigerian police, and that relationship has continued to exist in terms of data sharing, in terms of knowledge sharing, amongst others. Currently, as I speak, we have a gentleman on secondment from the Nigerian Immigration Service. So we've continued to build on the collaborative relationship that has existed between these agencies over the years. Again, we are part of the National Identity Management Commission ecosystem, which is the drive by NIMC to ensure that every Nigerian is registered, is identified. The EFCC is collaborating very robustly with NIMC to ensure that, every person that we deal with, complies with the NIMC Act, by ensuring that if they are not already registered and have a NIN, that we provide them that platform to be able to get enrolled and then have a NIN. So we've continued to collaborate, with all the other stakeholders, not just within the anti-corruption community, but across the various sectors, the various other government agencies.
What course do I need to study, or someone needs to study, to work in the Forensics Department of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission? What advice do you give to people who seek a career in this area?
So first and foremost, if you are coming to say forensic document examination, your background, you have to have a core background in the sciences, in the physical sciences especially, and then again, because forensics is a skill really, you learn on the job. So it favors more of internships, laboratory internships, more of practice within a laboratory setting, rather than the autodidactic learning that you get from the universities. Of course, I'm aware right now that quite a couple of universities offer areas of study in forensics, but even after you get this degree in forensics from conventional universities, it's still important that you undergo internship to be able to become, versatile, in forensics.
Thank you so much. You've really spoken extensively. But just before we go, what are your last words?
Well, again, if you watch cable TV today, you have all kinds of programs on forensics. You have the CSI and a whole lot of other programs. We are getting to an era where forensics would eventually become mainstream. And for the EFCC, especially with the current management led by Mr. Abdurrashid Bawa, his emphasis is on intelligence-led, science-based investigation, so that we can have outcomes that are not only accurate, but that are universally acceptable for every investigation that we conduct. So forensics will play a very key role, as we continue to grow as a nation in every aspect of our lives.
Thank you very much, ACE Benedict Agwai, for coming on the program. There you have it, and I'm sure that every question that you might have had on forensics and forensics analysis as regards the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been answered. Thank you for joining us. I am Golden Onwara. Back to you, Aisha, for the rest of the program.
Bankers are custodians of funds. It can also mean someone who works in the management of a bank or an organization that performs banking activities. Their job is so sensitive that if care is not taken, it can lead them to serving jail terms. Do you want to know how? Join the conversation this week on EFCC Connect on Twitter handle of the EFCC @OfficialEFCC to discuss the topic, fraud, why bankers may go to jail. Yes, you heard right. Join us for this and more on EFCC Connect. And that's it on this week's episode of The Eagle. Here is a reminder that you can send an email to info@efcc.gov.ng and speak to our officers and representatives on 0809 3322644 and follow us on all our social media platforms @OfficialEFCC. Use the EFCC mobile app, The Eagle Eye, to report any fraud you see happening around you. You download the app, follow the steps and report fraud on the go. You can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them. I am Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with these parting words from Bob Marley that says, "The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively." Stand for integrity, do the right thing always. Let's be the change we want to see. Goodbye. God bless Nigeria. Please do stay safe, be kind to yourself and to others, and do enjoy the rest of the week.